Good morning, ladies. We're going to jump right on into coverage today. I promised that today would be a brow day and a lip day because I had several questions for it. But I also had some questions on some coverage. So I wanted to just quickly go over it, get it out of the way. That way, you know, all of our coverage products, because you're going to see me use them throughout these next couple days. So first up, we have our BB Flawless. It is a tinted moisturizer with a little bit more of a tint to it. So it's a coverage. It's not like your typical BB Flawless that you would see. It actually does do a really good coverage. It's very, very hydrating, very good for the winter months or anybody with really, really dry skin. So it can be used by itself. I typically put it under just about every foundation anyway, just because I need that extra moisture. Next up, we have our Mineral Touch Pressed Powder Foundation. This will give you a complete coverage by itself. Like you put primer on, great coverage. I'm going to show you this. This is actually my go-to. I use this every single day, no matter which product I use. So a lot of times I'll use like BB Flawless and then I'll put my Touch Powder Foundation over it. Or anytime that I use our Touch liquid foundation, I'll put this on top too. So this is like absolute #1 must-have for me. But if you don't, say you don't like that matte finish, then we have the Touch Cream Foundation. It's opens up like this. It has a cute little door on it, and it's just a cream. It has a little sponge applicator with it, so you don't even have to have a tool for it. You can just use the sponge, put it straight on, and it will give you that dewy look to it. So this is a full coverage as well. Then next we have the oh so coveted Photoshop in a bottle. I don't know if you guys have watched any videos, but this stuff all the time they're talking about Photoshop in a bottle. That is this. It is the best foundation I've ever seen in my life. Any kind of skin tone it goes for. It covers up anything. Like you see, this is my natural face. It would totally completely cover up every bit of it. 5 drops on the tip of a brush and it's there. Thing is with this, it's kind of like the new iPhone when it comes out. It is so good. It's just out of stock all the time. We have had a very hard time keeping up with supply and demand. We sold out of a 6-month supply within a week. And so if you are willing to wait for your shade, there are some shades available, but if not, if you're willing to wait for it, it is the best thing to get, balm.com. Okay, so then we have 2 different concealers. We have a liquid concealer and we have a powder concealer. I use this for highlight and contour. It's basically a loose powder. It's called a powder concealer, but it is best for a highlight and contour effect. This is our liquid concealer. It is really, really good. It's not going to move any place at all, and I'm going to demonstrate that in a minute because that is actually my go-to. So when we're looking for an alternative, because obviously some of us are right now, even I cannot get any more of my color at the moment, I have to have a go-to. So my go-to every day, even when I'm in a hurry too, is obviously primer. This is our Glorious Primer, by the way. You'll see me use this in just about every single video. I actually have way too much on my finger. But this is like, think of it as a barrier. You're putting this as a barrier on your skin between your skin and what you're putting on your face. This will help protect your skin. It primes your skin. It gets rid of any fine lines and wrinkles. It helps to keep whatever you're putting on in place. Gives it a truer color. It's the best. It really is. I never, ever, ever recommend anyone using any type of foundation on their face without a primer first. Okay, so lickety split. There you go. Now, my go-to when I'm in a hurry is my liquid concealer and my pressed powder. So a little bit goes a long way, like that much. Can you see? Yeah, that much. I use it with my fingers. I do. The warmth of my fingers, rub it together like this, and then I just apply it. I'm gonna look in the mirror over here where I want it because I have mommy circles. I don't know if anybody else does, but I do. And I have to get rid of them. So when I'm concealing them, I actually did a makeup consult last night, and she thought she was supposed to use like 2 shades lighter in concealer, and that is the biggest no-no. You never want to use anything lighter. You want to use the same color as your powder or your foundation if you're trying to conceal. Now, if you want to highlight areas, absolutely, go a couple shades lighter. But if you're trying to conceal those circles, never, ever, ever want to use anything but your matching shade of concealer. Now, I don't want to rub this after I put it on. I want to put it on, set it in place, and I want it to stay there. So I'm just using my foundation brush to stipple it out a little bit, just patting it. Now, my powder, my color is Taffeta, by the way. Now this is a pressed foundation, so I'm going to press it in those areas that I really need that maximum coverage. My primer is going to help me get a maximum coverage too. It is going to set it in place, and it's going to stay there all day. I run a lot, and when I run, my friends will even say, "Oh, your makeup still looks great." Yep, it's the primer. Well, and the great makeup, but the primer especially. I mean, who can go to the gym, right, and still look great afterwards? Okay, now I'm going to just use a brush, and I'm going to hit the other areas because I don't really care if I get maximum full coverage on those areas. Sorry for the sniffling. I was really sick last week. Feeling much better now, thank goodness. Okay, so primer, powder, and concealer. And look, I mean, seriously, did y'all see all the mommy 5 hours of sleep before this? And then just a powder and a primer and a teeny tiny bit of concealer. And I have the best maximum coverage for absolutely all day. Even if I go to the gym later, or if I go run the trails for 3 miles, my face is still going to look great. Alright, so I will see you guys in the next video, and we will talk about some lips and some brows.